Hello, everybody. This is Brian Ankney with Auto Success. We'll get started here in a couple minutes, right on time. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We've got a great presentation in store for you. Stick around. I'm going to start a video here in a second from our sponsors, Horsepower 360. It's about a minute long, and then, Jamie, Mark, Danny, and myself will get started right away. Thank you for coming.
Hello?
Everybody's here. As soon as this video is over, we'll get started, guys.
Okay, I'm on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. This is Brian Ankney with Auto Success Magazine. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. Today with us, we've got Danny, Mark, myself, Brian Ankney, and Jamie. Today we've got a lot of good content to go over with you. If you didn't see in the title, Jamie sells an extremely high number of vehicles, 689 vehicles in a year. And so today we're going to talk with him, and you'll have the opportunity to ask questions on how he's done it, how he plans to continue doing it, and how you can achieve success like that yourself. Danny, Mark, Jamie, are you all there?
I'm here.
We are here.
Fantastic. Well, I got some pictures here. This is Danny, Mark, blast from the past from the cover of Auto Success Magazine, and myself, and we've got Jamie. Mark, Danny, if you want to, or Mark, why don't you say hello, and then Danny and Jamie say hello, and we'll get rolling.
Hello, everybody. I'm glad to be here, and I want to make sure Jamie's on the line and that he's on the right where he can hear us. Jamie, you there?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's been here for a little while. We were visiting, so I don't know if he got muted or.
Not on a moderator pin. That's the issue.
I can adjust that. I'll just go ahead and turn it back on for everybody. That's not
awesome.
That's not a big deal.
I'm not picking up this picture that you're talking about. I'm still on the first screen.
I'm actually right here.
There's Jamie.
Hey, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm right here. Hello.
All right.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can.
You're here. And I'm Danny Benitez, and Mark and I, our names, and Brian, our names may be on this webinar, but I'll tell you, today Jamie's going to be the star of the show because Mark and I, if you take our car selling history and add them together, I don't think we ever got anywhere near what this guy does. So I would say today, if you chimed in to listen to either Mark or myself or Brian, you may have dialed into the wrong deal. This Jamie's going to be the guy we're talking to. We're going to try to unlock the mysteries of what this guy's about and how he's just killing it, really almost like anyone in the country on a consistent basis. So we're glad everybody's here. whether you're a sales professional or a trainer or a vendor or you're just a salesperson of the dealership BDC, it doesn't matter. You're going to get some great info today, and I may be more excited about this one than anyone I've ever done because I've got my notes ready.
All right. Well, Jamie, thank you for coming. I want to let everybody know before we get started asking some questions is that Danny and Mark and myself are going to ask Danny some questions, Jamie some questions through the process of this webinar. And then at the end, as you have questions for all the attendees, please just go ahead and type them into the chat function on the left side of the screen, and we will address all those questions at the end. Also, I'd encourage you all to join Auto Success Webinars. It's a group on Facebook. Just go to Facebook, type in Auto Success Webinars in the search. It'll bring it up. On Auto Success Webinars, you're able to ask questions before, during, and after webinars of past speakers, Mark, Danny, myself. It's a way to kind of keep this conversation going as you try to implement these positive changes into your selling. Danny, you want to go ahead and ask a few questions?
Yeah, let's do that. First, I'm seeing some comments here that everybody's still seeing the the title screen here. Are we on to another screen, or you said you had some pictures and stuff? Because I think we're still on the title screen. So if you'll check on that, I'll start out by really just asking Jamie to do a couple things. We need you to pronounce your last name, and if you'll tell us just a few seconds of just where you're at, the name of your store, what kind of brands you represent, just a little bit about you personally, and then after that, Mark's going to jump in, and we're going to get right into business and start finding out what I want to know is how the hell are you selling so many cars? So with that being said, Jamie, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself quickly, and then what you're doing and where you're at.
All right, cool. My last name is Gitchier. It's pronounced just as it says, Gitchier. I work at Auto Fair Honda, which is in Manchester, New Hampshire. We sell strictly Honda at this store. We do about 400 to 500 cars total per month. About 200 used and maybe 300 new on average. We also have a Ford store and a Hyundai store that we can sell out of that are in the same area. I've been doing this for about 21 years now. I kind of fell into it. Pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at. I mean, I just sell cars. That's it.
What do you do? What are your what's your family do? You married? You do other stuff? Do you have hobbies? What personally?
I have a girlfriend. Her name's Angela.
Okay.
I have a daughter who's going to be 19 years old, and she's lived with me for about 12 years.
Awesome.
Yeah, we live together, and I'm very close with her mother. And I like to play golf. I like to pretty much hang out with my girlfriend, my daughter, and I mean, I work. I don't really work as much as I used to, but I'm usually working when I'm not at work. So I'm kind of always on the go. I work a lot off my phone. So, but as far as hobbies, I play a lot of golf. I like golf a lot.
So you don't work as much. That's why your numbers are slipping. You're only averaging 57 cars a month. Yeah, you need to work on that.
Well, I don't actually work at night, which is pretty funny. I'm here early in the morning, and I'm out of here by usually 4 o'clock every day. But again, when I'm not here, my phone is going off nonstop all night long, and it doesn't matter. It's always work.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Jamie,
Mark, get after it.
I'm assuming that most of your business is repeat and referral. Have you monitored out of the average month that you have, excuse me, what percentage of your business is repeat or referral?
I would say my repeat, I have a humongous clientele, and I do a lot of repeat and referral. I would say on the average month, I average about 55 to 56 cars a month average. And I would say out of those 55 to 56, 45 to 50 of them I bring in outside business from another state. They travel about 45 minutes to an hour past 6, 7, 8 other Honda dealers just to come buy from me. So yeah, I would say 90%.
Huh? Why do all of those people just come back to you?
Because they trust me.
What
they know I'm going to do the right thing. They know that I'm going to be fast. They know that there's going to be no nonsense. They know that I won't mislead them. They know that it'll be fast, it'll be easy, and it'll be just the experience that they want to have. It's quick.
And when you say fast, what do you do to facilitate that being fast?
On average, when I sell a car, I'll give you an example. This morning I came in strictly to do this, this webinar, which I've never done. And I was a little bit nervous because I didn't know anything about it. So I came into the dealership around 8:30, and an up pulled up. And I don't know why I grabbed the up, because I usually don't do that. But I went out and grabbed the up, and I sold them a car in about, legit, probably 11 minutes. And delivered the car. I mean, from the time that I shook their hand, it was 44 minutes. They were out, gone, clean, signed, delivered, gone, happy, and it was easy. So I have it down pat where I know every single thing that I need to do to make every single thing go smooth and fast. Like the minute they say that they want the car, I run out to the car and I bring it to clean up and I tell them to spot delivery. So my cleanup guys are on it. I run back in. I've already had the paperwork in the computer. I got everything signed. And I'm going, and everything is just organized and very, 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 very fast.
So that's a quick process. Explain if it was a normal sales process, tell us what that looks like to you.
A normal sales process from the time I greet my customer is less than 1 hour they're out of it.
Wow. I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. There's tons of background noise, so if everybody we still have some people that aren't on mute, but if you do, that'd be awesome. And continue. You were talking, Mark. You were asking him about how he does this so fast.
That fast process. I'm interested. What do you do normally? What's a normal process for Jamie?
You are now unmuted.
Jamie?
Yep. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Perfect.
Yes. All right. Again, I've never done this before. I don't even know how these phones work.
You're doing great.
The fast process. A lot of people ask me, they say, how do you do it and how do you do the numbers? You can't do those numbers unless you're quick. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, speed Absolutely. To me is the most important thing. Legitimately, I can tell you that when a customer comes in, I'm so prepared for them. Very, very rarely do they even go out on the lot. I would say 90% of the time I select the vehicle from them right from my computer. But that being said, the minute that they shake my hand, it is less than 1 hour. They are on the highway home. No questions asked. Every single time. Every single time it's less than 1 hour. And they're gone.
Okay. Do you do the deal T to green? Are you signing them up as well?
I don't. I want to make one thing clear that a lot of people have asked me over the years. My record for selling cars is 78 cars. I did 78 cars 2 months ago, and I don't have an assistant. I don't have anybody that does my deliveries. I don't have people that do my follow-up phone calls. I do everything myself. Everything that I do, I do.
Are you signing them up as the finance director as well? Are you doing the final paperwork?
No, actually how we do it is we have a finance director, and the minute that the deal is, if they shake my hand, I print out all the paperwork. I got, what we call purchase order, credit app, risk-based pricing, everything, privacy policy. I have everything signed. I bring it up to my desk. They sign off on it. They hand it to a finance director. The finance director assigns it to a finance manager. I got these finance managers on cue. They know if it's my deals, they're not screwing around. It's fast. They come excuse me. They come right over. I don't care. There's no cigarette breaks. There's nothing. They're coming right over. They come over. They introduce themselves. They sit down. They explain, I'm so-and-so. I'm going to be doing the paperwork. At that point, they go to the finance office, and I tell the customer, start cleaning out your car. I go out, I take their plates off their car. I tell them, leave anything in the car that you're going to throw out, just take your belongings, put them in these bags. So now they're already cleaning out their car. Finance guys loading the paperwork in. I've got the car in recon already. I already know if I need gas. In New Hampshire, we do what's called a 20-day temp tag. So the finance guy is loading the paperwork. While he's loading the paperwork, I run in there and I bother him every time. Like, I want my temp tag. I want my temp tag. I want my temp tag. And I bother these guys. Like, I can be a real pain in the ass with these guys, but I'm on top of them. They give me the plate. I run the plate. And when I say run, I'm legitimately running. I don't mess around. I run out to a service guy who I got them in my hand too. I say, here, can you do this plate? It's in cleanup. The mechanic will then go out and he's doing the plate and the inspection sticker while the car's being cleaned. So now, by that time, finance has brought them into finance.
There's no way.
Now, what's that?
I'm listening to a guy whose record is 78.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Somebody said something I didn't understand.
Okay, so anyway, they'll do the inspection sticker. Now the customer's in finance. By this time, the car comes out. I overlook the whole car. I pull the car up to their old car, and if they have their stuff out there in bags, I load it into the car. Then when they walk out of finance, I bring them in the car. I show them all the features and controls, and they're on their way out. Gone. See you later.
Right.
And this process is less than 1 hour.
I'm going to jump in here, Mark. That's first of all, my head's about to explode because that's just incredible. And just having a process.
You are now unmuted.
And you being able to just recite it just immediately, mainly because you do it 56 times a month. I'm sure you got it down pretty well. There are, Jamie, tons of people out that are listening right now, myself included, that are through that process are saying to themselves, oh, wow, how we could never do that. We don't have enough people. We're not a big enough volume store, whatever. Because that kind of a process through your 21 years and the way that your store is, high volume, high paced store, it works perfectly for you.
You are now muted.
But I'm telling you, there's a lot of people out there that probably need to step back and look at the things that have made you successful and the things that have made you have this sense of urgency. There's the two things that I picked up when you were talking is, number one, you have an incredible sense of urgency, and that you have an incredible amount of energy, and those things permeate to a customer. I mean, they feel that, and we're finding out more and more every day that customers want this to happen quickly. I was having lunch with a guy yesterday. He said, I just want this to happen. I want it to be fast and easy. So you are certainly addressing that. The other thing, we're just talking about the speed, and your urgency leads to the speed and helping people get in and out. But there are stores that aren't set up that way. They don't have directors that are at your beck and call ready to go. What are some things that you do on a daily basis? And I want Mark I'm going to hand this to Mark to let him finish this question. But Mark, ask him some things about daily basis, things, traits that have made him successful that may be transferable to any size or speed of dealership.
Well, I'd love to ask you a million questions. I could keep you on here.
You are now unmuted.
I got to ask you, and this
you are now muted.
Everybody else, but I just want to start out with, what's a normal day? I mean, most people are saying, okay, he said he leaves at 4, and what time do you generally wake up? When do you come in? Just explain a typical day of what it looks like for you.
You are now unmuted.
My typical day is I wake up at about 3:30 in the morning, and I recently went through a big weight loss surgery, and I lost 200 pounds.
You are now muted. This conference is locked. You are now unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I recently had a surgery about 18 months ago, and I lost 200 pounds. So my average day is I wake up about 3 o'clock to 3:30 in the morning, and I immediately go run or I walk 4 miles. As soon as I do that, I come back home, and I get in my work gear to go out to the gym, and I go to my girlfriend Angela's house, and I pick her up. I pick her up at about 4:55 in the morning, and we go right to a workout. We go to the gym. We lift weights 6 days a week. From there, I come back home. I drop her off, and then I go eat breakfast. And then at breakfast, I go home, I change, and I'm at work by about, say, 8 o'clock. And when I'm here, I'm working. I'm always networking. It doesn't matter where I am. I'm always working every lead. I'm working everybody that I always want people to constantly tell people that I'm the guy to come to. And no matter what, if you think of a car, you think of me. And I'm working my Facebook every single day. And I get a humongous amount of business from Facebook. I mean, I have 5,000 friends on there. And what I'll occasionally do is I'll go through the 5,000 friends, and I'll get rid of people that aren't active. I'll get rid of people that aren't sending me customers, and I'll just request more people as friends. And if you look at my Facebook page now, I mean, everybody on there, if you ask them, they know I'm the guy to go for a car. So,
Jamie, other than the Facebook, what do you do to build your follow-up for your customer base? Their letters, thank you cards, calls.
As bad as this may sound, I probably shouldn't say this, but I've been doing this for a long time. I worked in a Chevy store and Honda, and I worked in Toyota. And I've never sent out a thank you card in my life, and I know that's bad. I've never sent out anything like that. I've never done stuff like that. I don't know why. It never worked for me. So what I will do is I'm constantly, if my customers are in service, I'm constantly going over to them and talking to them and stuff like that. But I don't send out letters, and I don't send out birthday cards, and I don't do all that stuff. I never actually had time to do it. And I'm sure if I did, I'd probably be doing 100 cards a month. It just comes a point where I'm overwhelmed. So
I'd rather have a conversation with you in the service drive as a customer than some cheesy card. And I'm not saying anything against cards or letters or any of that.
And I know what you mean, and I kind of feel the same way. To be totally honest with you, I don't have that typical car salesman image, and I'm not that typical car salesman. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, Jamie's the best car salesman, the best salesman. I don't consider myself a great salesman. I'm just good with people. I don't care about being a salesman. I'm not that guy that, I put pressure on people, or, can you do it right now? I don't do any of that stuff. None of that stuff. I mean, I just basically tell them how it's going to be, and I assume that everybody that's coming in is buying a car. I mean, that's just what I assume. You call me up for a car, you're coming, you're going to leave in a car. I mean, that's what it is. If not, then don't come.
Well, I think people and customers expect nonsense in the car business. Everybody listening, I'm sorry. I think everybody knows that people come in, they're afraid, they're fearful, they're expecting nonsense. And the biggest thing I pull from you, just through a few minutes of visiting with you, is that you're a no-nonsense guy. And when you're no-nonsense and you work somebody through the process at a quick level and make it fast and easy, well, then that in itself helps build trust with the customer, because you are respecting. Trust comes from respect, and when you respect somebody's time, then that trust builds, and I think that's what you've done. And I think anyone listening can glean some things from that people do want to get in and out, and if you can facilitate that in a pleasant way, then they will come back. And if a huge amount of the people that are buying cars from each month are people that have done it before, then obviously what you're doing is what those people are looking for. So I want to hit very quickly, if you don't mind, Jamie, you mentioned how Facebook is a huge part of your business and how you utilize that. We look on Facebook, and different salespeople, different dealerships have different policies, so I'll put that out there. We need to respect each dealership has a policy, and everybody needs to follow that. However, you see different kinds of posts. You see people that continually just throw on, we have an Explorer for $11,900, get out here, or we have this or that or this special. The people I've seen that are more effective use Facebook in a little different way for more engagement and starting relationships and having conversations. What is your social media, Facebook, whatever, plan? What type of posts, how often do you do it, and how do you actually turn that into dollars? If you could speak on that for a second.
Well, that's a good question. And the one thing that I believe in is that, first of all, you have to have a lot of people on there. People will say, you have 5,000 friends. Well, I can assure you that 5,000 of those people are not my friends. I mean, I probably have 20 real friends on there. These are just bodies. These are just bodies, so I'll go on and I'll request everybody. What's the worst they can say? No. And they're going to get to know me one way or another. I don't care if they're my friend. It is what it is. But I don't inundate on my Facebook page with cars because I feel like you'll get bored. So I'll do a lot of things. I'll talk about my relationship with my girlfriend, how much I love her, and how we're going to get married. And I talk about my daughter and how much I love her. And I'm always building myself up so people can see that I'm a good person. Right. So it's always positive. I try not to talk about politics or religion. I will constantly go on there and say, out to dinner with my daughter tonight. She's, my best friend in the whole world. And people like that, especially women, and they like it. And they'll say, oh, you're such a nice guy. And this whole time, I'll say to my girlfriend, I'll say, what I'm doing, there's always a method to my madness. Not that it's not true or what I'm saying is misleading in any way, because it's not. But I always want people to like me. The more people that like me,
it's really branding. In the marketing definition, it's branding. Are you, at some point, we've got girlfriend and daughter, and we got these pictures. At some point, every so many posts, you come up and say, hey, either come see me, or this person bought a car, we had a blast, or do you put any type? Do you filter in business posts, and if so,
not with those posts. Those posts are strictly personal. But then what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll post 6 or 7 cars. And the one thing with me is I never, ever, ever put a price out there. Never.
Okay.
I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. I put like 10 cars on this morning. I put a 14 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, and I put just like this. I put this is a badass car. 2014 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited, navigation, leather, heated seats, moonroof, $199 a month. Now, we all know that $199 a month is not happening, but that's all I put. I don't put nothing else. Now, people will start commenting on that $199. Oh, my God, that's great. Oh, my God. My whole goal is to get them in. That is my whole goal. I don't have any other goal. Now, if somebody goes on there and says, how much, I will inbox them. I'll say the car's $34,995. If someone goes on there and starts asking too many questions, well, what term are you going, blah, 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 I will delete their comment and I will inbox them and say, yeah, that's with, $17,500 down. Whatever.
Right.
It doesn't matter to me. And then when they come in and they say, hey, how's it $199 a month? I'm like, oh, it's with $18,000 down. Oh, I don't have 18, and then I just go to work. It's not rocket science at that point. Oh, with no money down? Yeah, you're only $450.
You're utilizing it for a step towards an appointment, but when you get engagement that looks like they're showing interest in that car, then you transfer that into a private message that you're hoping turns into a phone call that you're hoping turns into an appointment. Okay.
Right, 100%.
So you're using Facebook. You're using Facebook to elicit an appointment, so you're using it as your it is actually an extension of your CRM, basically, if you think about it that way. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jamie, are you boosting any of your posts, or are you just doing it all organically?
Say that again?
Or are you spending any money to boost your posts on Facebook, or are you strictly getting all this business organically?
No, I don't spend $1. Nothing.
Wow.
He just does regular Facebook, no post, no dark post, no.
Yeah, just keep Facebook. That's it.
Yep.
Wow.
And you know what else? Yeah. I mean, the month I sold 78 cars, I sat down and thought about it. The month I sold 78 cars, and the one thing I want you to know is what's more impressive, and we don't have to really talk about it, but what's more impressive to most people that talk to me is the numbers, the gross, is because it's astronomical, and that's where people can't fathom it. If I told you what the numbers were, you'd be like, there's no way, it's impossible. It's more than the volume. And in the month I did 78 cars, I did 46 deals off Facebook, and I did 29 deals that were straight walk-ins that month, people that I was just bumping into left and right. Facebook to me is a huge, huge, huge thing, and it's so big, and I think that it's free advertising, and anybody that doesn't work it and work it the right way, I think you're missing the boat.
Go ahead, Mark.
No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
No, I was looking at the chats. There's a couple of questions in here, and we will get to most of them towards the end. But there's a couple of quickies. Like a person said, "Is your dealership one price?" But I think you've answered that question. And
I would never work for a one-price store.
Do what?
I would never work for a one-price store.
Well, I'll tell you, it's certainly a different process. But I was looking here. And so he says, what do you base the pricing on? Now, because of your volume and your success and your length of time in the business, are you, for lack of a better phrase, are you desking your own deals? Do you have parameters? Okay.
Yeah.
So you come in, you have your parameters. You've shown your managers have just said, here, Jamie's a monster here. He knows what he's doing, and you've been able to do that. So a lot of people listening may not have that advantage, but that explains the way you're able to do it. Another one, a good friend of mine, Mike Davenport, said, since you don't send out cards and you do all your own follow-up, how are you creating loyalty with most of your customers seeming to have to drive 45 minutes to come see you? So what is it about you? We spoke a little bit to the speed and stuff. What is it that's making that customer come back and drive 45 minutes to come to you when the last time they bought a car it took 53 minutes. Is it
I'll
because
tell you,
of that
I'll
speed or
answer
because of what you did during that time?
No. And I'll answer. This is the magic question that I hear all the time. No matter where I go, people always say, "Hey, man, what's your secret? What's your secret? What's your secret?"
Yeah.
It's not a secret. It's one thing and one thing only. Make people like you. Mm-hmm. If they like you, they will buy from you. Period, right. Point blank. I can assure you if they don't like you, if I don't like someone, it doesn't matter if it's free, I'm not buying it from them. I don't care. And I learned that young. So I make people not only like me, I make them love me. And I make them always love me. And I make them laugh. I make them know that I'm a sincere guy. I had a girl last week from Facebook who I don't even know said to me, "I want to buy a car from you. I live in Yonkers, New York," which is about 6 or 7 hours from here.
Right.
She flew into the airport and drove a van home. From Facebook.
Well, I'll tell you, it's you just have this kind of air about you of confidence and that you know what you're doing, and someone that may not have to do a lot of the traditional things that they've seen car salespeople do their whole life. Somebody who can just kind of take care of things. I think there's value to that. Is there something that do you have like a little token phrase? You know, we're finishing up, we're delivering. Give me that phrase where you say, "Don't ever buy a car from anyone else, or I'll hunt you down." I mean, what's your that kind of thing?
Oh, no, believe it or not, I actually would never. I would do the opposite. I kind of like to do a lot of the opposite. Like I say to people, even though I really may not mean this, I'll be talking to someone. In reverse psychology, I would say, "Hey, listen, I understand if you want to buy a Ford, no problem." And I say, "Listen, even if it's not my make, call me and I'll go with you and make sure you get a good deal." And that's all part of that, making them feel comfortable. I never talk bad about other dealers. I never talk bad about other salesmen, even if I can't stand them. I know most of these people, and I know what their tricks are. I don't talk bad about them. If I got an enemy in the car business, and somebody says to me, "Oh, I'm going to so-and-so," you know what I say? "Oh, he is such a good guy. You'll love doing business with him. Let me know if it doesn't work out." And I'll guarantee you I'll close those people.
Right.
Because the minute you start talking bad about somebody, you're done. You're done. They're going to just make a way for you, and that's it. And I don't do it, no matter what. I may let them think, and I never say, "Hey, you got to do this today." I don't do that, because if you do that to me, you're going to lose me too. I mean, will I let them go if I'm holding $7,000 or $8,000? No, I'm not going to let them go. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight a little bit, and but I know what where I need to be and where I don't need to be. And when you said about the managers here they all respect me they all really respect me. And I work for a bunch of good people, and that's a huge thing. I do my own thing. I have my own computer. I have the inventories. Pretty much the only thing I don't do is appraise my own trades, which I'm trying to get that right now too. I'm trying to work that angle in as we speak. So
I'll let you do that if you come here. Mark, what do you got?
Jamie, I want to ask you. You said 21 years. Give me a timeline. The first year you got in the business, how well did you do? What happened? Then, when did it start to take off?
Okay. Well, first of all, I used to drive a limousine, and I made about $300 a week, but I always had really good work ethic. I was really, really, really good at work. I was always on time. I never missed work. I just had such a strong work ethic, but I wasn't making any money. And long story short, I started in a Chevy store on July 1st of 1996, and I walked in, and they, kind of showed me what I was doing, and I was there for like 3 or 4 days, and I didn't sell anything. I didn't even talk to anybody. I'm like, screw this, I'm done. And I was legitimately walking out the door, and that's the truth. And I heard a guy say, "Jamie," and I turned around, and it was a guy that I knew. He was my baseball coach when I was younger. And long story short, another salesman got involved, and this is the first month, so this is July 5th, actually, was the first car I sold. And we sold the car, and the salesman that helped me, excuse me, he came up to me afterwards, and he's like, "Hey, we did a good job. We made about $550 each." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah." I go, "I made $550 and you made $550?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Why the hell did you make $550? He goes, "Because I helped you." And I said, "So if you didn't help me, I would have made $1,100? He goes, "Yeah." And that was it. And the God's honest truth, I sold 26 cars that month. I won Salesman of the Month. And then I won Salesman of the Month the next month, and I just caught on very fast. And at the time, my salary was $100 a week. And the owner called me in and said, if you win in October, I'll give you another 100 a week, November another 100 a week, and December another 100 a week. And I won all 3 months. My first year I made $97,000, which I was blown away because I had never made anywhere near that kind of money. And I ended up staying there for 39 months. I won the board all 39 times, and I went on to Honda. That's where it all started.
What do you think? I mean, you were selling, you started off 20-some cars. You hit it right off the gate. What took you? Was it just the repeats and referrals that started taking you to the rarefied era of the 40 and 50? When did that start to happen? How did it happen?
That started to happen right around 2000, 2001 when I was very, very motivated by money, and I still am motivated by money. A lot of people, they get it confused. They think that I do this because I love this and I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do this because I love money, and I love a lot of money, and that's the golden reason why I do this, and it's the golden reason why I work harder and harder and harder, because I want to make more money. I want to get to millions of dollars. I don't want hundreds of thousands anymore. I want millions. And when I got to those numbers in 2000, I knew going from 20 to 30, from 30 to 40 was a huge difference, and from 40 to 50 was a huge difference. I went to work for one of the biggest dealers out here in 2007. His name is Herb Chambers. And he has about 52 stores out here. And he had a guy that was working for him that was known as the best Honda salesman in the country. He had never lost. No one ever beat him. And I went there, and my first month there, I destroyed him. I destroyed his record. I beat his record. And that was when I sold 64 cars.
I'm going to interrupt for just a second. We're getting a lot of background noise again. So if everybody could try to mute your mic again, it'd be awesome. All right. Mark, what do you got next? I have a real quick question. You mentioned when you're away from the dealership that you're always working. The phone is always on. So, you're not at the store. You're at a restaurant. You're at a convenience store. You're at a function. What conversations do you have, or what do you do, dropping business cards, whatever? How do you develop business and develop relationships that will help you here when you're not at work?
When I'm not at work, my phone's on me 24 hours a day. I mean, unless I'm sleeping. If someone will text me, hey, I got a friend looking for a car, here's her number, it doesn't matter, right then and there. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I could be in church. I'm going outside, I'm going to call that person right then and there. Hi, so-and-so, this is Jamie from Auto Fair, you referred to me? Yeah, Jamie, blah, 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 blah. No matter what they say, I'm not really even listening. No matter what they say, I say the same thing every time. Great, when can you come in? Great, when can you come in? Because I'm going to give them very, very, very little information over the phone. I need to see you, when can you come in? When they come in, there's a 95% chance I'm going to close them. I'm not worried about that. I just need them in front of me. So I work that lead right then and there. If I'm at a restaurant with my girlfriend and it's 10 o'clock at night and somebody hits me on Facebook and says, hey, my mother's looking for a car, I send them a message right then and there. What's your mother's phone number? Can I call her right now? And I don't wait. I don't mess around. I book that appointment and I get them in. And when I get them in, that's when I sell them a car. And then hopefully I sell their family and their friends, and I just keep going.
So, Jamie, it sounds like to me the most important mode of communication for you is phone. You don't waste a lot of time on email. I mean, you may.
No, matter of fact, I get a lot of crap from my HR department here. I've probably sent in my life 7 emails. I don't like email. I don't like anything about it. I want to talk to someone. I want them in person. I want them in front of me. I don't. Not that I'm not good on the phone, because I do close a lot of people over the phone. The problem with closing people over the phone is you don't know what they're doing. You don't know if they're hanging up the phone with you and they're on the phone. And I've had a lot of deals blow up. Big monster deals that I've written, and people have I've had the car all cleaned, and the next thing I gave them too much info, and they backed out or whatever. Something happened. It was a third base coach. So when they're in front of me, I feel like they can't do that. And up here, once you take the car, it's gone. And one thing else I want to stress is that I don't have people ever calling and writing bad letters and saying I took advantage of them. And I have almost perfect CSI. My CSI is 99.7 for the year on over 300 surveys, which is unheard of. I mean, that number alone is absolutely unheard of. I mean, I would say 99.9% of my surveys that come back are 100%. So, I mean, I do it right. I mean, to me, the compensation is irrelevant. And, you know, I always tell people that the compensation, if as long as you didn't lie, cheat, or steal, or mislead the customer in any way, how much money you made is irrelevant, period. It doesn't matter. You know, to me, it's, you know, I'm going to make the most money I can that's going to keep you happy, period.
Jamie,
go ahead.
Oh, Jamie, do you coach your customers to on the survey? Like, what do you tell them to get? I mean, that's just an astronomical number of surveys to get back.
Well, I mean, I would be completely lying to you if I told you I didn't. Of course I coach them. And, you're not supposed to coach them, and there's a fine line with Honda. Honda's survey is pretty easy. I worked for Toyota for 6 months, and they're very difficult. But Honda's pretty easy. It's 10 questions, and you know, the scale goes from 1 to 5, 5 being the best. And I can't say give me all 5s, and I don't say give me all 5s. But I do let them know, I say, hey, listen, you're going to get a telephone survey, and the survey is going to be from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, and hopefully I've earned all 5s. That's where I go, because Honda will throw tricks at them and try to catch them, try to catch me coaching them or catch somebody coaching them, and then you don't want to do that, because the next thing you know, you'll get a letter from Honda. And I've never gotten one, but I know people that have, and you know, but my follow-up is so intense with these people. You know, I call them, you know, I got a survey back today and I was pissed off. And it was all 5s, and one of the questions was, did you receive a follow-up phone call? And the girl said no. And I talked to her. So I called her this morning, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's a friend of mine. And even though it's not a big deal, to me, it upset me, because I'm like, I don't want my general manager to think I didn't, and even though it wasn't a big deal, he didn't care. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. But it really bothered me, because I'm like, I called her the next day. And I specifically said, hey, look, this is your follow-up phone call. They're going to ask you if someone called you. Is everything good? She's like, yeah, everything's great. You were the best. Oh, my God. You got me in and out of this so fast. It was perfect. So,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, you know, even someone who's averages 56, 57 cars a month like yourself, that's going to be a collection of your 70-something car month, and you've probably had some 40-car month, and whatever it is when you consider it a bad month or you've had a slow month. You know, everyone sometimes gets complacent either about a step of a sale or something in the process. What is it that you have seen you go, hey, you know, I'm getting complacent about this, or I'm not doing this right? What in particular have you looked back on and said, you know what, I'm kind of blowing it on this, I need to get better? What's the last thing you had?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there is, you know, attitude is everything. You got to, I've come in sometimes and had things going on in my life, because I'm human like everybody else, and not everything's always been perfect. And I've kind of taken it out on customers and gotten confrontational, which is not really like me. And I've noticed that, you know, if I have a hard-ass customer, I'm going to be a hard-ass back to him, and that doesn't work. It doesn't win. Yet in the moment, I'll think it does, and you never end up selling a car. Whereas usually if I get the hard-ass customer, you know, I'm kind of kissing his ass in a fairy tale way. I'm like, oh, my God, that's great. You know, I want him to think he's the greatest thing in the world, you know. You're so macho. You're so great. Oh, my God, you have the best job. Oh, my God, good for you. Your credit is so perfect. And there's been times where I've gotten confrontational. I've come back a week later and say, you idiot. You know, you can't do that. That's not working. You know what I mean? So that was probably my biggest downfall. But usually I'll catch that quick if I'm going somewhere. You know, I've had bad months. The worst month I probably ever had is probably 29 cars. To me, doing 29 cars would make me, and and that's a big money month. I'm going to tell you, at this store with my gross, 29 cars pays me a lot of money, and it doesn't make me happy. I need to do minimum 40 to 50 cars a month, and I do it. Like right.
Hey, could everybody please mute your phones? Danny, please proceed.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mark and Jamie.
No, so I was saying, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jamie. I'm sorry.
I was just saying that, 40 to 50 cars to me is minimum. Like right now, it's November 20th. I got 42 cars out, 31 used. I'm going to do 60, 65 this month. In November, that's a huge month here because we usually, it snows usually. And usually I don't do those numbers in November. November, December, January is usually quiet for us. And, a lot of people get ratted out. I don't. I look at it as it's just another day. It's another month. It doesn't change for me. I don't work any differently. I work the same every month,
Jamie, I don't want to talk specific numbers. It's personal, and there's other reasons why, but you alluded to something earlier, and I think this is important for people to understand. You're doing huge superstar numbers, but yet I have a feeling that I bet your gross is as good or better than the rest of the people in that dealership without, talking specifics about the gross of the money. Would that be true?
Well, I can tell you this, and this is, one thing I don't do is I pride myself on that I don't lie. I'm a straight shooter. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't steal. I never did. I never have. I never will. I never had to. To give you, the number 2 guy in the store, he sells about 20 cars a month. My gross is triple his, and he makes a ton of money.
Right.
So, and he makes high 6 figures, and my gross is triple his, sometimes quadruple. If you saw my gross numbers, there would be no way you would ever believe it in a million years. Never in a million years would you believe it. My gross is 10 times more impressive than my volume. If you saw it,
this debunks a lot of the myths that we've heard all through the years. Because let me tell you what I've heard you say, and Mark, I'm not stepping on you. I'm just saying that I'm hearing you say, I get to work at 8 or 8:30. I generally leave at 4. I like playing golf and hanging out with my girlfriend and having fun and doing things. I work deals quickly. My customers love me. I'm selling 57 cars a month. So these things that you have to be there 100 hours a week, you've got to work till midnight. You have, you can't have a life outside of the business. Or if you're doing this many cars, there's no way you can hold gross. You don't have time. All those things. You're kind of just smashing all of these preconceived notions. I think that people, they may not consciously have them, but in the back of their mind, they think working harder means working smarter, and it doesn't always work that way. So, that's something that I think is refreshing and something that people can take from this deal. If you're efficient, and you are, I don't know that I've ever heard efficiency like this in my 30 years in the car business, but it's, I think your efficiency, your work ethic, the fact that people really like you, that you shoot straight with them, your confidence is obviously there, and those things are infectious. So,
Jamie, I applaud you. One of the things I've always said in seminars, in my book, etc., and people don't like me to say this, the top 5% superstars don't follow any super rules that have ever been written at all. Almost none. And what you do is the exact opposite of what everybody teaches, and that's why I believe you're a superstar. So, congratulations to you. You can't follow normal rules, what everybody teaches, and reach the rarefied air that you are. So that's good stuff. Now, when you say you're on the phone, when does your phone start ringing in the morning?
Oh, my God, 6 o'clock, 6:30?
I love it.
Yeah. 6 o'clock. I could be at the gym sometimes, and if it rings, I'm answering it. It doesn't matter. If I'm at home at midnight, I'm answering it. If I'm at home and I get a text at midnight.
How many phone calls you take in a day?
Probably 30 to 40. Depending. And it's not just phone calls. It could be Facebook messages. It could be stuff like that. But I can tell you, I'm busy every single day with stuff. I got stuff always working. Always.
I got another question. In your quick process, what are all the traditional things you don't do or that doesn't happen a lot in your sales process to your customers?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This may be a little unorthodox, but this is bad and this is not good. And I don't ask that any new salesman do this, but I cut out all the bullshit, to be honest with you. I don't do walk-arounds. I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about none of that stuff. I find out what their hot button is, and I attack it immediately. And that's what I'm good at doing. My ability to read somebody is like you've never seen in your life. I mean, I can read somebody in a matter of seconds, and I know what I have. In a matter of seconds after shaking their hand, I know what I got. So very rarely do I even do a test drive. I mean, that's the God's honest truth. To give you an example, I had a guy come in the other day. He goes, hey, I'm looking for a car. I said, great, have a seat. He sits down. I said, how's your credit? He says, perfect. I says, great, you looking to put money down? He goes, yeah, I got $2,000. I said, do you have a trade? He said, no. So in my head, he's got $2,000 down, and I can do numbers so fast in my own head. So I said, where are you trying to keep your monthly payment? He says, right around $300. I said, okay. So in my head, I'm saying, okay, $15,000, okay, whatever. I said, what do you need for a car? He said, I want something good on gas. So I look at my inventory, and I look at a Honda Civic, blah, blah, blah. I said, I got the perfect car, sit right here. I go outside, I pull the car up, I come out, I said, take a look at this car. You like it? He goes, yep. I said, put a plate on, go for a ride. Drive it, come back. I said, I can do this car right here for $299 a month with your $2,000 down. Great, I'll take it. That's it. That's it, and it's a bomb. It's a bomb. Never once does he say, how much is it? Never once, nothing. Nothing. Very, very, very rarely does that happen with me. And even the managers are baffled by it. And then I will go over and say, hey, by the way, the car's $17,995. You're going to put $2,000 down. Leaves a balance of $15,900. We have a $500 dock fee. You're financing $16,400 for 75 payments. Your payment's $299. Okay. I fully disclose everything.
That's awesome.
Mark?
Yeah. I wonder if there's some people out there wanting to ask some questions, because I think if I was listening to this and I was a salesperson or a manager, I'd have a list of about 100 questions. One I want to ask and then turn it over to anybody else is, if you had to pick one thing that makes Jamie different than the rest of the people on your showroom floor or anywhere else, what's the one thing that makes you who you are?
My ability to read people.
Okay. Jamie, this is Brian. I have a question for you. We've got a whole bunch of salespeople that came to this call, this webinar today, and they're hoping to take something away and make a change in their own career to try to strive to reach the numbers that you're at. I mean, if for all the people that are on this webinar right now, if there was one, what's the first thing that they should do today immediately to start working towards the numbers that you achieve?
I would just be genuine, and that's the God's honest truth. I would be genuine. I'm not a textbook guy. I was not very good in school. I was not a very smart guy. I was a very street smart guy. I grew up in the city, and I had to learn how to live quickly. And I'm not a book smart guy. I mean, to get on this webinar thing today was giving me like anxiety last night. I'm saying to my girlfriend, I don't know what to do. I don't even know what webinar means. I was like so nervous about this. So I would just be genuine, and treat these people coming in, just treat them like yourself, and don't be the textbook salesman, and just make them like you, and everything will fall into place. I promise. And it doesn't matter. I could go to a store that does 100 cars a month, and I'd still sell 40 to 50 cars a month. I know I would. It's just how you treat people. You treat them right. You let them know that it's going to be different than what they expect. A lot of people will come in, and I'll say to them, folks, just to give you a little bit of background on me, I've been here for a long time. I'm the top salesman here. There's not going to be any nonsense. I'm not going to run back and forth. You don't have to worry about me going to talk to a manager. We're going to do everything here. I'm going to make it nice and easy for you, and I'm going to try to get you out here as soon as I can. And they let their guard down. And once you explain to them how it's going to happen, and then once you deliver, they love you. They love you, and they ain't never going anywhere else.
Yeah, that right there is super important. I call it painting the picture, the process. People come in, and every customer that comes in, I don't care if they're coming to see Jamie or anyone else, they have fears, and the fear is the fear of the unknown. They come in, they don't know how long they're going to be there. They don't know what the process looks like, and they're not prepared. And no matter what, if you're walking through a haunted house, I mean, the reason it's scary is you don't know what lurks around the next corner. And so what you said is something we teach, and something I believe a lot in, is that you paint a picture of the process, which is exactly what you did. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what the next hour or 2 hours are going to look like. We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and then you're going to be out of here. And you're exactly right. Immediately, the unknown now has become the known. Now it's your responsibility to deliver on that. You can't tell them, you can't paint a picture of a process that doesn't happen. But if you do that and it does happen, then you are a car salesperson who has said, I'm going to do this, and then you did it, and their expectations were fulfilled because you painted that picture. So that's really important. When you go in and you're talking to them about putting money down, these things, you are following the steps. You have established rapport. You've told them what's going to happen. You're getting their needs analysis. You're finding out what it is. You're demonstrating the car, even if you have a very abridged way of doing it. They're looking at it, driving it, those kind of things. But you just have this accelerated process that any deficiencies from the regular world is made up for with your work ethic, your transparency, your confidence, your ability to get them in and out, and your ability to make them love you and trust you very, very quickly. So, you know, a lot of the basics are in there. It's just you've developed a different type of process based on your market, the type of vehicle you have, your environment, your ability to make decisions on a deal. So that's my observation. Mark, what do you think?
I just think it's fantastic for anybody listening to this to understand that you have to, what Jamie does is something that I teach and believe in called TLC. Think like a customer. He doesn't think like a salesperson. He thinks like a customer. And if you do that, the rest of the stuff gets really, really easy.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth. You know, one thing I want to let everybody know, too, because a lot of people, you know, one thing that I pride on is that I get paid, I'm on the same exact pay plan as the guy walking in here that worked at Walmart that's getting hired as a fresh salesman. My pay plan is exactly the same as every other salesman. There is not one piece of my pay plan that's different. And part of the reason why is because I've always held my head high that I never went in and asked for more money. And I know I could. I could go in and tell these guys I want $2,000 a week right now or I'm leaving, and I know they'd give it to me. But I wouldn't do that. That's not who I am. I work on the same pay plan as everybody else. The only agreement that we have that's different from me than everybody else is that I have my own schedule. I come and go as I please, and you never question whether I'm here or not, period. And if I don't come in for 5 or 6 days in a row, they don't even call me. It doesn't matter. They know at the end of the month, I'm going to put up hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in gross, and I'm going to put up a lot of cars. And that's the agreement we have. And I think that if anybody can do that, you deserve to get that. And that's what you built it for. And it's really, this really is not that hard. And if you build this and you build it the right way and you put everything you have into this, I put everything in my life into this business. You know, when I was, 23, I had my daughter, and I was starting to make big money, and I was putting money away, and I said, I don't want to do this forever. I only want to do this till I'm 45 years old, and that's still my goal. I mean, I only want to do this for a few more years, and then eventually I want to go live my life with my soon-to-be wife and go and have fun and not worry. But this really is not rocket science. I believe that you learn how to make people like you, and then you learn how to ask for repeat and referrals, and then network. And in between all that, then you learn how to gross. And when you learn how to really gross, when you can gross with those people, they all trust you. Now, are you going to gross on everybody? No. If I do 50 cars a month, I'll bet you I don't have 5 minis. I'll bet you I don't have 5. A lot of those are big, big deals. And they're people that are very happy, and I will never lie. If a car's been in an accident, I'm going to tell them, hey, look, it's been in an accident, but there hasn't been any airbag deployment, blah, blah, blah. I will never lie to them. It doesn't matter. And if it's a piece of shit car and I don't think it's a good car to sell them, I won't sell them the car. I'll tell them straight up, let me find you another car. And I've done that too.
Well, man, Jamie, congratulations on really just your success, and I have no doubt that I think maybe the next time we do one of these, you're going to be telling us about your 100-car month, and it's just it's amazing. I'm in awe. I've taken a lot of notes, and I just want to congratulate you on your success, and I'm excited to hear what happens going down the road.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Jamie, thank you for coming, and thank you for taking the time to share your story with us. I mean, I think I'm probably safe in saying there's nobody on this webinar that's ever had a conversation with a salesman of your caliber that's achieved the type of results that you've achieved. I mean, I'm with Danny. Congratulations, and I hope everybody learned a lot today. Jamie, I'd love to have you back again. I'm sure that my team will be reaching out to you to invite you to do blogs and articles and anything you'd like, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time. Mark, thank you for coming. Danny, thank you for coming. I want to remind everybody, if you'd like to interact with any of the speakers on Auto Success webinars, please go to Auto Success Webinars on Facebook, join the group. Jamie, please join the group as soon as we're done. I'm sure you'll get some questions from some people. I appreciate everybody taking the time to come today. You'll also be able to see future webinars that we have scheduled on Auto Success Webinars. Danny, Mark, Jamie, is there anything you'd like to share with our listeners before we go?
No, I'm good, man. Thank you.
With me,
Mark?
I just want to say it was my honor.
Oh, I'm telling you. Yeah, this is fun. This is just, you don't see these very often, and you hear about these stories, but to get to really interact with you has been a pleasure, and we wish you the best. And thanks everybody for tuning in. We really appreciate it. I've got work to do after listening to this guy.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. I hope you join us again for a future webinar.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.